stepping into one of the deepest, most daunting caves in the United States. On one fateful day, a group of experienced cavers descended into this vast underground world of Ellison's cave, installing a gate at Keyhole Passage to make the cave safer for future explorers. But what went wrong down there? What unexpected challenges did they face in the cold, dark depths? Watch the video uncover the mysterious and thrilling story of their perilous adventure. Welcome to the breathtaking world of Ellison's Cave, located in Walker County, Georgia, on the majestic Pigeon Mountain. Before we dive into today's video, make sure to hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. We upload daily. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and join our amazing community. Now, let's get started. This stunning region lies in the Appalachian Plateaus, where Georgia meets Alabama and Tennessee, offering some of the best outdoor adventures in the area. Ellison's Cave is not just any cave. It's the deepest cave in Georgia and ranks as the 12th deepest cave in the entire United States. With over 12 miles of caverns and passageways, it's a place that could keep even the most experienced cave explorers busy for a long time. One of the most remarkable features of Ellison's Cave is its fantastic pit. This pit is the deepest, unobstructed pit in the continental U.S., descending an awe-inspiring 586 feet vertically. But that's not all. Ellison's Cave also features other deep pits like the Incredible Pit, which drops 440 feet into the earth, and smaller ones like Smoky Eye, Smoky 2, and Warm-Up Pit. Ellison's Cave is a solution cave, formed in the Ridge and Valley geologic region of northwest Georgia. The cave lies within a bedrock fault in Pigeon Mountain. This area was shaped during the Ordovician period, when tectonic movements created a large fault zone in the southern Appalachians and northern Georgia. These geological processes, along with the presence of gypsum and limestone, contribute to the exceptional depth of Ellison's Cave. Managed by the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, Ellison's Cave is part of the Crockford Pigeon Mountain Wildlife Management Area. It's a publicly owned cave, open for anyone to explore. However, this cave is not for beginners. The challenges it presents should only be taken on by experienced cavers. If you're new to caving, it's highly recommended to explore this cave with a professional guide. Cave exploration is a thrilling adventure that takes you into the mysterious depths of the earth. It's not just about wandering through dark tunnels. It's about discovering hidden wonders, understanding ancient geological processes, and sometimes even finding traces of ancient life. Caves like Ellison's offer a glimpse into a world that is both beautiful and dangerous, where every step could lead to a new discovery. So, whether you're an experienced caver looking for your next challenge or someone interested in the wonders of the underground world, Ellison's Cave in Georgia is a destination that promises an unforgettable adventure. On the cold day of November 22, 1969, a group of adventurous cavers gathered at the entrance of Ellison's Cave in Georgia, ready for another exploration. Among them were Eric Foote, 27, his wife Penny Foote, 22, Charles Horton, 20, Steve Hudson, 19, Don Hunter, 21, George Morris, 30, and brothers Alan Paget, 19, and Wade Paget, 16 years old. This group was no stranger to the mysteries of the underground world. The Footes, Morris, and both Paget brothers had over 2 years of caving experience, making them seasoned explorers. They had a deep love for the unknown and a strong craving to explore the hidden depths of caves. On this particular trip, their mission was to install a gate at the Keyhole Passage and replace the register at the bottom of the 510-foot Fantastic Pit, a daunting free-fall drop that was both thrilling and dangerous. Ellison's Cave, known for its deep pits and challenging terrain, was a place that tested the skills of even the most experienced cavers. The group knew that this was not a place for beginners. The cave demanded respect and careful planning. As the group prepared for their descent, there was a mix of excitement and tension in the air. Alan Paget, who had been to the bottom of Fantastic Pit 4 times before, took the lead. His confidence was reassuring to the others, especially Charles Horton and Don Hunter, who had never descended the pit before. Horton, in particular, was determined to make the descent this time. His anticipation was palpable. He was eager to prove himself and experience the thrill of descending into the unknown. At around 3 p.m., Horton began his descent. He was equipped with a rack with 5 bars, a Swiss seat, and a Prusik harness with an attached Jumar for safety. He was dressed warmly, wearing gloves to protect his hands from the cold, rough rope. However, his initial descent was slow and difficult, so he unclipped the 5th bar from his rack to ease the descent. This allowed him to move more smoothly down the rope. As he descended further, he encountered the spray from a waterfall inside the pit. To avoid getting soaked, he sped up his descent, but this proved to be a grave mistake. About halfway down, Horton found himself struggling to control his speed. He tried to slow down by wrapping the rope around his hip and jamming the bars on his rack, but both attempts failed. The situation quickly turned out of control. Horton began to fall, his descent turning into a terrifying, uncontrolled rappel. He fell the last 300 feet at a frightening speed. In a desperate attempt to save himself, Horton shouted, "Belay!" at least twice as he neared the floor, hoping that someone at the bottom could stop his fall. Alan Paget, who had taken the slack rope to the side of the pit, heard Horton's cries and tried to perform a bottom belay, a technique used to slow or stop a falling climber. Unfortunately, his efforts were only partially successful. Horton hit the bottom of the pit hard, landing on his heels before striking a canteen on his left side. The impact was so severe that it caused his head to snap back, sending his hard hat flying off. The stretch in the rope then flipped him upside down, leaving him hanging in a painful, twisted position with his legs folded over his head and shoulders. Paget quickly reached Horton and released him from the rope. To his relief, Horton regained consciousness within a minute and immediately complained of pain in his left hip. Despite the intense pain, there were no obvious signs of broken bones. Paget signaled an emergency using a whistle and helped Horton hobble behind a large rock to escape the cold wind and the spray from the waterfall. They assessed Horton's condition and concluded that he had likely suffered a severe bruise to his left hip and thigh. It became clear that Horton would not be able to climb out of the cave on his own. He would need to be lifted out of the pit and the cave. Meanwhile, Don Hunter, who was at the top of the pit, heard Horton's cries and the emergency whistle. He quickly alerted the others who were working at the keyhole passage. After discussing the situation with those at the bottom of the pit, they decided to pull Horton up directly, using the 6 people at the top to manage the task. The group re-rigged the rope for lifting, using a carabiner as a pulley, 2 jamars on the pit side as clamps and safety devices, and another jamar with seat slings attached for hauling Horton up. Despite the pain, Horton managed to assist in his own rescue by tying Prusik knots to attach himself to the rope with his Swiss seat and chest harness. Paget wrapped Horton in a space blanket to keep him warm and protect him from the spray. At about 3:48 p.m., the team began the difficult task of pulling Horton up the pit. Paget held Horton out of the waterfall for as long as possible, while Pennyfoot managed the clamp Jumar gates, ready to release them if needed. The team worked tirelessly, lifting Horton to the top of the pit in 25 minutes. Once at the top, they moved him to a safe place, where they gave him dry clothes and wrapped him in another space blanket. Carbide lights were placed under the blanket for additional warmth. By this time, Horton was in so much pain that he could not walk or even support his own weight. The pain in his lower back and pelvic region was excruciating. The team provided him with hot soup and hot chocolate to help him regain some strength. By 4:35 p.m., the pit was re-rigged and Alan Paget ascended, joining Horton and the others at the keyhole passage. The team faced the challenge of moving Horton through the narrow passages and climbs that lay ahead. The second bypass drop of 18 feet and the first bypass drop of 26 feet were rigged similarly to the pit, and Horton was lifted above these obstacles by 7:50 p.m. The 125-foot warm-up pit was surmounted in the same fashion. Through the agony section of the cave, Horton was carried piggyback by Steve Hudson, who bore the weight of his injured friend with great determination. Finally, the team reached the 15-foot entrance climb, the last obstacle before freedom. Morris and Pennyfoot, who had gone ahead through the second entrance, rigged the ropes. Horton was pulled up this final climb, and at approximately 10:20 p.m., he was out of the cave. Exhausted but relieved, the group left the mountain together, riding in a Bronco. Horton was transferred to another car and taken to Lafayette Hospital, where he received immediate treatment for his pain. X-rays at the hospital revealed that Horton had suffered a cracked vertebra and a broken left pubic bone. Other than these injuries, he only had minor cuts and bruises. He was admitted to Tanner Memorial Hospital in Carrollton and spent 8 days recovering before being released. Despite the challenges faced during the rescue, the team managed to pull off an efficient and safe operation. The bottom belay, though only partly effective due to the speed Horton had reached and the angle of the rope, played a crucial role in cushioning the impact. The use of space blankets for warmth, the strong team available for the rescue, and the necessary equipment all contributed to bringing Horton to safety. The presence of a Bronco at the entrance also made it easier to transport him out of the cave. However, there were important lessons learned from this incident. Horton had only been caving for about 4 months and had limited experience with long rappels, having previously tackled a 238-foot drop. While he had shown skill, his experience with such a long drop as Fantastic Pit was questioned. Horton admitted that he might have momentarily frozen during the descent. There was also a possibility that the 4th bar on his rack was not functioning properly, as it was later inspected and found to have issues. Moving forward, it's clear that anyone attempting either Fantastic Pit or the 440-foot Incredible Pit should have much more vertical experience than Horton did. While this won't completely eliminate the risk of accidents, it will certainly improve the chances of a safe trip. It's ironic that Horton got hurt during a trip intended to make Ellison's cave safer by installing a gate. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and consider subscribing for more thrilling cave exploration stories. Don't forget to leave a comment below and share your thoughts or experiences. Stay safe and keep exploring the wonders beneath our feet. In the darkness of Knox Cave, a group of explorers faced a terrifying challenge. What started as an exciting adventure turned into a desperate struggle for survival. Trapped in a narrow passage, one young caver's fear and inexperience led to a chain reaction that left 18 people stuck underground for hours. With the cold closing in and panic setting in, the group could only wait and hope for a way out. What happened next is a story of danger, courage, and the unpredictable power of nature. Located near the village of Knox in Albany County, New York, Knox Cave stands as one of the largest and most fascinating caverns in the state. With its high passages and natural beauty, this cave has been a source of wonder and exploration for many years. The cave is filled with darkness, its twisting and winding passages evoking a sense of mystery and adventure. Since the 19th century, Knox Cave has drawn the attention of geologists, explorers, and even tourists, eager to discover its secrets. The entrance to Knox Cave is marked by a steep-sided sinkhole, a feature that has been noted in the old histories of the Helderbergs. However, early records do not mention any exploration of the cave itself. Formed from Devonian Age Manlius and Coeymans limestones, Knox Cave is a series of parallel passageways on multiple levels, created along vertical fractures in the rock known as joints. While Knox Cave may not be the longest or most challenging cave in the Northeast, with approximately 4,000 feet of passage, it has unique features that attract both sport cavers and scientists. 2 sections of the cave require technical climbing with ropes, and the notorious gun barrel passage and the climb to the remote alabaster room add to the adventure. The cave's rich legends and history further enhance its appeal. Today, Knox Cave is part of the Knox Cave Preserve, owned by the Northeastern Cave Conservancy, NCC, since 1979. The preserve is home to 2 known caves, Knox Cave and Crossbones Cave. While Knox Cave has been known since at least 1787 and was operated as a commercial cave from 1933 to 1958, Crossbones Cave was discovered in 2000 and is a more advanced vertical cave. Visitors to Knox Cave need a permit, and the cave is closed during bat hibernation to protect the animals. Though it offers much to fascinate experienced cavers, Knox Cave can be extremely dangerous for those without proper training. On January 11, 1970, a group of 31 men, women, and children from Massachusetts embarked on an adventurous trip to Knox Cave in Albany County, New York. This group was a mix of experienced and novice cavers, all excited to explore the mysterious underground world. Some of them had explored caves before, while others were new to the experience. The thrill of venturing into the unknown brought them together on this cold winter day. In preparation for the trip, the group gathered their gear, which included helmets, headlamps, sturdy clothing, and gloves. Some of the more experienced cavers helped the newcomers understand the importance of safety and being cautious inside the cave. They discussed the cave's layout, particularly the infamous gun barrel passage, a narrow keyhole-shaped tunnel about 18 inches in diameter and 60 feet long. This passage was well known among cavers for its difficulty and the sense of accomplishment it gave those who made it through. The group knew that exploring Knox Cave would be challenging, but they were excited to face the adventure together. As they arrived at the cave, the group split up, with 18 of them bravely deciding to pass the gun barrel passage first. This section of the cave led to the wild, less explored areas, which had not been touched since the cave was used as a commercial attraction. The gun barrel was tight, dark, and required the cavers to crawl on their stomachs, inching forward with determination. The narrowness of the passage made it a test of both physical endurance and mental resilience. But for these cavers, the reward of discovering the cave's hidden beauties made the challenge worthwhile. After the first group successfully made it through the gun barrel, they continued their exploration into the deeper, wilder sections of the cave. They marveled at the stunning formations, the echoes of dripping water, and the feeling of being far away from the surface world. For many, this was the highlight of their caving experience, a chance to connect with nature in its most untouched form. Meanwhile, the rest of the group, engaged by the tales of the first group's adventure, decided to attempt the gun barrel passage as well. One by one, they squeezed through the tight space, feeling the cold, damp walls press against them. However, not everyone found the journey as easy as they had hoped. Among the last to go through the passage was a 14-year-old boy named Peter Vians. As he neared the end of the gun barrel, only about 8 feet from emerging, he suddenly found himself in trouble. His knee and leg became wedged in a narrow crevice on the floor of the passage. No matter how hard he tried, Peter couldn't free himself. Panic began to set in as the reality of being stuck in the dark, confined space took hold. The other cavers quickly realized that Peter was in distress and tried to help. They approached him from both sides of the passage, encouraging him and trying different ways to free his leg. But every attempt only seemed to cause Peter more discomfort, and they didn't want to risk injuring him by forcing his leg out of the crevice. It was around 1:30 p.m., and the situation was becoming increasingly serious. Realizing that they couldn't free Peter on their own, the group decided to seek outside help. They made their way back through the cave, emerging into the daylight and quickly contacting local authorities. The police and fire department were summoned to the scene, and soon the quiet village of Vanox was abuzz with the news of the caving incident. Rescue workers arrived equipped with tools and experience in dealing with such emergencies. As the rescue team entered the cave, they were faced with the challenge of navigating the narrow, twisting passages to reach Peter. Time was critical because the young boy had already been stuck for several hours, and the cold, wet cave could make him very sick and lead to hypothermia if they didn't act quickly. The team moved carefully and slowly, thinking about the best way to free Peter without hurting him more. Hours passed as the rescuers removed away the rock around Peter's leg, all while keeping him calm and reassured. The process was slow and painstaking, but the team was determined to bring Peter out safely. At last, after what must have felt like an eternity to the young boy, the rescuers managed to free his leg from the crevice. It was around 8:30 p.m. Peter had been trapped for 7 long hours. Despite the ordeal, Peter was not injured, though he was understandably shaken by the experience. The rescue was a success, thanks to the quick thinking of the cavers and the skill of the rescue team. As Peter was brought out of the cave and into the night air, there was a sense of relief and triumph among the group. They had faced the dangers of caving and come through it together, stronger and more aware of the risks that such adventures can hold. Even though no one was injured, 18 people in the group were stuck behind Peter Vians for 7 long hours. The situation was tense, as there was a real risk that someone could get hurt, suffer from the cold temperatures in the cave, or even panic due to the tight space. This incident is important to talk about because it shows how things can quickly go wrong in a cave, even for a large group. Peter's situation happened because he was inexperienced, scared, and not in the best physical shape for such a challenging environment. This incident in Knox Cave was just one of several that have taken place there over the years, highlighting the dangers that can come with exploring these underground spaces. For the 18 people trapped behind Peter, the hours spent waiting in the cold, dark cave must have felt like a nightmare. They were stuck in a tight space, unable to move forward or backward, with the uncertainty of when they might be freed weighing heavily on their minds. The possibility of further injury or the onset of hypothermia was a constant threat, making the situation even more stressful. But in the end, everyone made it out safely, thanks to the bravery of the rescue team and the patience of those trapped. This story is a powerful reminder of the importance of being well prepared and understanding the risks when exploring caves. It also shows the incredible resilience and courage of people when faced with a difficult situation. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. And remember, always be careful and